Tom Clancy's The Division is a franchise that falls under the live service category, which is a game that releases with more content promised after launch. A category that has gotten a lot of bad press with games like Destiny 1 and 2, Battlefront 1 and 2, Please Give Up. These games aren't inherently bad, not anymore. Well, but these games, including The Division 1, launched seemingly unfinished and or broken. Destiny 1 had great gunplay, but a terrible story and a grindy endgame. Destiny 2 had a terrible story with a really boring endgame. They also fell under the looter shooter genre and essentially started the trend of live service looter shooters being broken or unfinished at launch. Division 1 had a forgettable story with some balancing and content missing and some bullet sponge enemies, and quite a few of them at that. It had content added later on, but that was through paid DLC. The Division 2 was announced promising free content later on, unless you buy our season pass, of course. I was pretty excited for this game, and many other people seem to have felt the same way. It really looked like an improvement from all the mistakes that the first one had, besides the story, of course. Division 2 had Destiny 1, 2, Division 1, and Anthem to learn from, so things could be looking good for the game. And it was. The Division 2 came out and received many praises from everyone in the community, saying how it improved on almost every aspect from the first. Granted, we were missing some modes and content from the first one, but many pointed out that the gunplay, tactics, and missions were greatly improved. It was nearly unanimous from everyone that the Division 2 was much better than the first one. However, suddenly it seems like no one is talking about or even playing the game anymore. So I think it's time to do some research as to why this game seemingly succeeded and failed simultaneously. Before we look at more as to why other people stopped playing the game, I think I'll lay down the reasons that I myself stopped playing the game. I had about 37 hours in the game, and I really haven't touched it since. One of the biggest reasons for me was movement. I went back and compared the movement from Division 1 to Division 2, and compared to the first game, Division 2's movement and how it feels to move around feels really clunky for some reason. I get that you're a soldier with a big ass backpack and all of this equipment on you, but the movement feels really unresponsive. And in a game where half of the game consists of moving around, that's not a good aspect for your game to have. You walk around for a lot of this game, and I just hate moving around. But the Division 1 has movement that really feels good and responsive. I do enjoy moving around from place to place in that game, and trekking New York streets feels so much better than Washington, D.C. And that is a great transition to my next point, the atmosphere. The Division 1, in my opinion, has a lot of great atmosphere that I just adore to this day. Exploring the snowy streets of New York is one of my favorite things to do.
Have any booze? I'm all out. Scotch, vodka, gin, whatever. Otherwise, I'm eating a goddamn bullet. I can't take this shit sober. No way in hell, no fucking way.
Entering an office building and climbing up the floors to look out the window to watch the snowy night is just one of the best feelings, and getting that moment of peace in the game really feels relaxing and calming. While I do think that the eerie atmosphere carried in Washington, D.C. fits the game's concept a lot better, I think that New York was just a lot more enjoyable to travel through, and the snow and the Christmas setting just felt so unbelievably natural. It felt perfect for this game, and that's one of the things that I miss the most when playing the Division 2. Now, this next part is very opinionated, so this is 100% on the subjective side of things for me, but I just don't really care for the extra endgame content the Division 2 offers. The raid and the PvP-centered game modes especially. The Dark Zone and the open world endgame content has really been the only stuff I've cared about. With the unresponsive movement, it keeps me from wanting to even try the PvP game mode, and the raid just seems really dull. With things like Destiny's Oryx fight, it shows that raids for looter shooters can be exciting, challenging, and fun at the same time. And compared with the other endgame raid-like content like the Pit of Heresy, the Division 2 pales in comparison to these examples, and I just can't bring myself to try them out. And furthermore, the Dark Zone itself seems really small, and all the locations feel the same aside from some scenery. They don't ever really feel challenging, I guess, until someone else comes and destroys you with the amazing build that they have. So I've laid down my reasons for why I don't personally enjoy the Division 2 anymore, but what about the community itself? What do they think is wrong with the game and why it's seemingly not as popular as it was? So of course, like any insane person would do, I decided to take to Reddit, asking the people of the Division subreddit what problems they think the game has, or what it could do better. better, and I got a lot of answers. A lot of it was similar to my personal reasons, but there's a lot of deeper problems that I didn't even know existed until now. A lot of people pointed out the fact that they weren't a fan of the atmosphere in the Division 2 like I did versus the first game. People also pointed out that they weren't fans of how there were 3 different dark zones and how small they were. Some people pointed out problems with the PvP and even the way builds are handled, and where builds are a major part of your endgame, that's something that you need to get right. And speaking of, people also pointed out the disappointing endgame and lack of content, but there was one reply that really did stick out to me, and I'm just gonna read out the whole thing because it's pretty short and concise with a lot of really good points. The comment reads as follows. My answer is very simple. The Division 2 was not really an improvement, just boring, tedious grind. With all the powerful items being removed, lack of classified sets, missions that only had their settings in their favor, a letdown when it came to specializations, who would fantasize about running a grenade launcher or a 50 cal when we had alts in the Division 1? Washington might be pretty, but lacks all atmosphere. Basically, the Division 1 was pared down and what was left was a simply bare-boned clone. I played 114 days of the Division 1, but only 7 days of the Division 2. I didn't even really have to ask for people to give me the things that they thought were wrong in the game. After looking a little deeper into the subreddit, I discovered a post that had a long list covering what changes could be made to certain systems to make the game better. So even the community acknowledges that the game has some issues and that these need to be fixed. They're very vocal about it. They're actively talking about it. Taking a water break. Water break. There are also a few videos on YouTube that talk about why they've stopped playing the game, like Marco Style and Cactus HD. I even saw a pretty good and in-depth rant-like video about the game by Jesse Main, which I think you should check out. This video was also pretty recent, which means a lot of the problems with the game are still not being dealt with. And that's seriously a problem, especially if it's a live service game that is supposed to receive updates and patches on the regular. So overall, it looks like the developers behind the Division 2 seemed to look at all the praise they got and the good reviews and thought that they had a perfect game on their hands, so they didn't want to make any changes to how the game is right now. The main problem seeming to be endgame, builds, PvP, dark zone, atmosphere, and a lack of content. It is kinda sad to see a game like this seemingly go down the drain because of problems like these. The Division 2 could have been amazing and could have been a great improvement over the first game, but ultimately, the first game seems to stay superior. The Division 2 still has some great aspects, don't get me wrong. The gun sound effects are phenomenal, side missions are actually greatly improved and feel like actual missions compared to the first game, and there's a lot of hidden things to find in the open world, but unfortunately, Division 1 just does so many things better than this game. I hope that the game can improve, but we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary in about 3 months, and the game hasn't improved much since then. So I don't have high hopes, but I hope they can at least learn from this game and apply it to anything that they make in the future. So that's pretty much it. I've given you my reasons for why I've stopped playing the game, and I've laid down other reasons which could have led to this game's unfortunate failure. It does suck that Division 2 wasn't as good as I had hoped, but that happens a lot in the industry now, unfortunately. The new norm of games is just to fail and then add content later by the looks of it, and that sucks. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace. If you're still here, thank you for sticking with the video up until this point. Sorry that I haven't uploaded in 4-5 months. I've just been demotivated trying to think of what content that I really want to do on this channel, and I think I've kind of found a format that maybe I will actually like and maybe that I can stick with for now until I get demotivated again or what have you. This video seems like it's something that I actually want to make. It's something that I actually want to do, which is something that I haven't really been able to figure out over the past few months. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully it was good. Hopefully it was quality in your standards. The next one that I want to do, perhaps maybe I just want to give my thoughts, maybe a review of Destiny 2 and how the game is today, considering a new season is coming out on the 10th when this is recorded. It is currently the 8th, but I don't know if this video will be out before then. Probably not because of work, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. You already heard the spiel at the end. I'm not gonna go through it again, but yeah, Hopefully this extends the runtime so that YouTube will actually promote my video instead of sending it down the drain of the billions upon billions of videos that are uploaded every day. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.